Now, I've got the really great fun job following on. Of course, as a speech pathologist, I'm always working on oral language. I consider oral language, and it was so nice to see Jen talk and encourage us to really have a really strong oral language focus and build in the oral language. And so much, obviously, the oral language builds into written language, as Jen showed us. But equally important is sound awareness. And as a one-eyed speech pathologist, of course, I actually think that the most important part of the literacy process is the sound awareness skills and those underlying foundational skills. Unfortunately, my colleague Jen also thinks that. Isn't that lucky? We didn't have to have a debate about anything during the tour this week. And also, the great thing is that now most of the research is also supporting that if we provide a really good sound awareness base to it, then that really helps. So just so we're all on the same page, I'm sure that you know these terms, but just so we're really clear, because some of the articles we've given to you have talked about the different terms. So obviously people know about phonics, about the sound letter link. That's what that means. That's cool. Phonological awareness is more the overarching term that refers to all general sound awareness skills, but it includes things like word awareness and syllable awareness, your rhyme and onset, and also the sound stuff. More specifically is phonemic awareness. Phonemic awareness just refers to the awareness for students in sound, so identifying the first and last sound, playing with sounds in words. And I just point the phonemic awareness out because there's a lot of research that specifically has targeted and seen that phonemic awareness is a really important factor. So just so that we're on the same page as everyone. So I guess we know that we've always had the age-old debate about whole language versus phonics, and I guess we can all appreciate now that phonics is the best approach. Some of you might not know that in more recent times there's been another debate brewing in the background, and whilst we're not here to start any riots today, we are going to be talking about the difference between analytic and synthetic phonics, because we sort of are presenting today ideas and techniques that fit probably what we would say the synthetic phonics approach. And it's really fantastic that we have Jen here. Not to point any or allude to her age at all, sorry Jen, she's tried and been through both of these approaches in her classroom. Sorry Jen. No, you're right. And I guess it's really nice to hear from her how those things have played out, and in the coalface what she's actually seen. So to explain them just a bit more, I'm going to invite Jen back up and she's going to quickly talk to them.
So like Amanda said, we're not here to convert anyone. All we're here to do today is just quickly, and I'm going to give you a 2-minute explanation about what the difference is between analytic and synthetic phonics. For many of you may already know, but for those of you who may not be sure, this is a really quick way of doing it. So the analytic phonics was very much based on the whole word level, and it often used an approach where the teachers used an initial sound, and they used that to, the child learnt about that over the week. So it might have been k, and they might have been learning all the words that started with k for a whole week, and it'd be cat, cake, caterpillar, but it was oftentimes just that initial sound that was being used. It normally took about 2 terms to actually go through all of those initial letters. Then it went on to having a look at the medial letters, and then once the children had a knowledge of all of those letters and sounds, then the teacher started doing some blending and segmenting after that. So that's just like in a nutshell, and not going into all of the research behind it. That was just one of the approaches. But the synthetic phonics, and you may have heard that recently, is all about having a look at sounds and the children being exposed to 3 to 5 sounds in a week. And then as soon as they know those sounds, and most often it has been the at, so you might have, your school actually may use Jolly Phonics, or they may use Multilit, or there's another one I believe called SSP, and so that actually follows that at, and you can see while I'm doing that, using those sounds, and there's pictures that are associated with those sounds, that the children start learning that as soon as they've got those 6 sounds, they can start blending to make words. So in, at. And so the children are already exposed to not having all of the sounds in isolation that's already being introduced. So from my background, I was always the one who did very much an analytic approach to when I was teaching, and I was told just recently that we were going to be using Jolly Phonics in the classroom, and I thought, oh,